Hey there everybody, welcome to another episode of Bert's Bike, and today we are going to clean the clutch cable on my Triumph T100. This is a maintenance item you really don't want to overlook for safety reasons, so let's get into it. Now to do this job we are going to use the Motion Pro cable lube as well as the Motion Pro cable luber, and you really don't need this to do this job. It just makes it a whole lot easier. We're gonna have to get the clutch cable out of here, but I also want to clean the lever as well and re-grease it because I haven't done it in a while. So when I loosen that 10mm nut right here, it should allow me to slide the whole clutch lever out. Okay. All right, so that's what you're left with here. So you want to make sure that all the bits here are aligned so you can slide that cable out. Closed or exposed. All right, now that's all lined up. Now you can slide this out. Right there. And look how dirty that is. Ugh. Pretty gross. Clean this up. Also, there's a little sleeve that came out of here. It goes in here. We're kind of figuring this out together here, so I guess the idea is that clamps down on this thing. So to avoid a big mess, you're probably going to want to put some towels here. We're just coming out the top end there. So I don't think it's going to be airtight. It's going to be good enough for what we need it to do. Still kind of a messy situation here. So now we're down here and you can see the fluid coming out the bottom. What I want to do is just kind of work that clutch cable a little bit, work the excess out. I'll tell you one thing though, it looks a heck of a lot better than it did earlier. That clutch cable feels so much smoother. Wow. Okay, so I haven't done this ever, so I think if you do this a little bit more regularly, you can get away with just maybe a few squirts, but I don't think this has ever been done since the bike was built. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of purge some of it. Just try to work some of that stuff all the way through here. Okay, the next thing we need to do is get this old grease off of here. And I guess you could just wipe this clean if you wanted to. But in these little crevices, we're going to apply new grease. Go ahead and hit that with some contact cleaner. But I want to get all this old grease off here, the contact points. Tons of grease and grime built up here. Now that everything's clean, let's go ahead and put some grease on all the pivot points. And let's also grease up the end of that clutch cable. A little side note here is if you don't have enough slack to get the lever and cable back into the housing, you may have to loosen the clutch cable on the other end. This particular bolt is actually keyed, so be sure that you don't put it in crooked. If you put it in correctly, it should sit flush to the clutch housing. The next thing to do is tighten up that lock nut, making sure that the keyed bolt does not pop up and get out of place. At this point, you want to make sure that everything is working the way it's supposed to. Now before locking up the clutch adjustment, you're going to want to make sure that your free play is set correctly. And according to the Haynes manual, that free play should be about 2 to 3 millimeters. See what your free play is with the handlebars straight, 2 to 3 millimeters. About 2 on the lower end of 2, so between 2 and 3. Good. All right, we'll lock it down. And we're good to go. Make sure this boot is back on. And you also want to check this to make sure the stud is in there correctly, because it just slips in there and it's a friction fit. So you don't really want to risk this being a sloppy fit in here. So you want to make sure that that is aligned perfectly. So all in all, that was a really straightforward job, no surprises at all. If this video has helped you out in any way, shape, or form, please like, subscribe, leave a comment below. It's Bert's Bike, and I'll catch you on the next one.